Okay. Oh, okay. Hello, red light on the camera, which I didn't see yesterday. We are live. Hi there, everybody. I am Frankie. I'm an American Bastard. Welcome back to Assembly. We just watched the first block of a compost for the day. We started with fast graphics, freestyle graphics. Then we had the fancy console and the Oldskool console. I have three of my excellent friends here with me. I have Oomfu from the Royal Belgian Beer Squadron, I have Evil Paul, and I have the very lovely Base Cadet. Hello everybody, welcome. Delighted that we don't have to rush it in 5 minutes as we did a few days ago. So let's take some time and look at the compo. So first of all, there was the fast graphics, and if I believe correct, my mind is correct, it was like things going wrong at the info desk. I'll look it up in a second. So it had to be like assembly related, info desk related, check-in related. Any initial comments that you would like to make before we perhaps jump to a specific entry left or right in the fast graphics? Any volunteers to start? Or I will point at someone.
Well, I found the...
you have to hold your microphone like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I found the theme of the fast graphics funny. So things that can go wrong. For some reason, I think things that go wrong funny. So yeah. So yeah, I liked it. One thing that stood out for me was the one that with the explosion at the entrance was I like that one very much. So yeah, and also the one that reminds me of the crowd strike incident. Also a nice thing.
Okay. Well, I have to personally go with "Are we live yet?" because that was very fitting.
Yes, I'm sorry that I practically set up myself by coming up with that theme, and I didn't know into the future that I would be invited over to the Compostudio, so that would be making it truth in television.
Okay. Good. Mr. Evilful.
Yeah.
Anything on the fast graphics that you want to specifically mention?
There was a few that I really liked. I liked the number 9, the Tadar one. Just a nice painting.
Mm-hmm.
And also the blue screen of death one. Just that tickled me.
For those watching along at home, you can watch the pictures that we talk about on scene.assembly.org, and if you go to vote, you can actually see the pictures that we are talking about, so you can then use that as a reference so you can track. And also, if you have a valid ticket and a vote key, you can actually vote, and you actually should vote. A deadline of the votes is somewhere tomorrow, but you can vote right now. There is no need to wait. Look at myself, and it was a bit of the first of a few political entries left and right with the former U.S. president in there, in a few. So that's touching some things left and right, and it's coming back later in the block. So that's a thing as well. And there was one with the Mesukescu's failing. That was number 8, just a tiny little mistake. I found that one to be really well executed. And I actually look like, well, it's coming close to the building, but I'm missing the hotel. The hotel next door is not in the picture. So maybe a little bit too fast, but that's from my personal thing. Anything else on the fast graphics that one of you would like to mention? Or we will have covered this competition very fast.
A recurring theme seemed to be that we are on fire. This is fine.
I'm quickly gonna see if it's still on what the theme exactly was. Failed opening ceremony was the actual theme.
Yes, that is correct.
But, well, aren't they on fire?
Sorry?
Aren't they on fire either mentally or physically?
I didn't see our official opening ceremony, I'm not sure if it was on fire or not, but I heard that there were some audio issues, and I heard that one of the contestants was taking fun of it with the image upside down. So.
Oh, and that
really
is then
tell.
related to
Yeah.
it. Yeah. I was hoping for failed lasers, but the lasers still work.
Yes, there was one work where there was a bullet flying towards the canvas. It was interesting because it said in the picture that the opening ceremony is going to start, but in the info slide it said that the demo compo is about to start. So why shoot the canvas just before the demo compo?
We can ask the technical teams why that happened. I don't know. Okay. Good. Let's then, if that's all for the fast graphics, then there was freestyle graphics. I found it a lovely mix of hand-drawn things, some rendered things. One very lovely C64 entry, which I will talk about in a second, or if any of you guys want to do that as well. A classic furry trash group entry in there. So anything that specifically jumps out in the freestyle graphics. Don't know. Basically, if you want to start on that.
Yeah, like I said yesterday, there's always the suspense if the work is going to look good on the monitor, but not on the big screen. And there was actually at least one picture that didn't look that good on the monitor, but the screen somehow turned it more magical, and the artifacts they were not that disturbing in the big screen. And there was another piece of work that has so much of shadow area that it diminished the quality a little on the big screen, which is a little shame. And it's always hard to draw the line when the work is too much dependent on stock images. And there were a few images that were just basically photo meshes. And we thought that they didn't quite cut it. There was not enough original work in there. And there was actually one picture that was pretty good, but it had the backdrop image, which was a stock image. It's not that obvious to the viewer, but the large space station behind the cyborgs is a stock photo, but it's still retouched manually. So there's still a lot of original work, and of course all of the characters there, and it works well in the end.
Okay, yeah. And as you said, yeah, there were a few dark pictures again on the big screen here.
At least the
I know
bird
that there's one chili processing plant. I think there's a much more detail in there than that we could have seen here.
Yeah, the processing plant, I think it looked pretty much the same on the monitor and the big screen.
I haven't seen it on the monitor,
But
so I
since
can't
we
compare.
saw all of the works of the pre-stage images, and we saw that there was a lot of content that was just not seen over there, and the final point of view could have been thought a little better. There was a lot of work put into the image.
All right. Mr. Paul, something that jumps out for you, sir?
I was going to say it'd be really interesting to see some of those process images, the steps, to help understand, as you say, things like stock images. You would see that a bit more, and I think that would kind of help you judge it, maybe, whether it's how it was made. There was one that I really liked, the EP Forest one, and I was trying to figure out, is that all hand pixeled or what? And I would love to have seen some process stages to see how they got there.
Yeah, it was pixelated at a later stage, and I think it was take on the missing pixel art compo of assembly. We used to have pixel art competition, but nowadays there is no pixel compo anymore, sadly.
Yeah, I like that the pixel art just sneaks its way into the competition and has some great entries. Like I think you wanted to talk about the C64 one, but yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, so that was the last entry, disconnected. So it's there's multicolor and raster lines, but there's much more going on than just simple multicolor. So multicolor is the basic graphics mode of the C64, but with programming tricks. You can add things to the side, to the top, and you can add additional layers. And I do think it's actually a full screen picture. It's not all that easy to see on the beam here, but I do think that you use all the borders, which you normally cannot use on a C64, well, normally. So therefore, looking at the amount of horizontal lines and the colors used in there, it seems to me like an actual full screen pictures with, well, they say 56 sprites in the description, so there's a lot of hardware and software trickery going on in that one.
So I wrote in my notes, ignore the technical, it's good.
Yes.
The technical is very interesting, but yeah.
And like it's lots of C64 folks have been using like some horizontal line dithering in the last few years, and that was also very much used in this one that I've noticed. And it looks good, but once you know the dithering pattern that they're using, okay, they're doing that one again. But it did use a bit the default red versus blue color scheme. But yeah, that is, well, you only have 16 colors to pick up, so you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, also, as a Commodore 64 pixel artist, it was interesting to see the stages, because it was sketched first on a tablet. I don't remember if it was Procreate or something else, and it was pretty much all set up, everything in place, and in correct colors before it switched over to Commodore 64. Mm-hmm. Because usually you get some surprises that some colors don't work there, and you have to move stuff a little to make it work. Mm-hmm. But that artist clearly knew where to put all of the things before switching over to the Commodore 64 side.
Right. But all in all, very lovely and very technical. Don't know, Unfu, if you have something that jumps out for you specifically?
Yeah, in general, I like the things that look technical. So yeah, I like the fact that you can build things actually in Blender or in, for example, the chili processing plant with Tinkercad. You really have to build your picture from scratch with tools, and it looks like you're building a stage, but then virtual. Then to take a photo of it. I like that it has a process, and it's also done with the shoot 'em up, for example.
Yes.
Yes, Max. So there's a lot of work involved. It's not just painting something, but it's really getting accurate details from 3D renderings. So yeah, I really like that.
Okay. I wanna the tent on metal and muck. I flagged it to talk about. It's like I don't remember why anymore. Is it? Does this anything particular for you folks? Oh yeah. My notes were looks like the rock of the little guy in the front. So I don't know if there's anything you want to add about that one.
I wrote nice composition. I think as we got through the entries, we got to the ones at the end, knew how to compose a picture. I think the earlier ones weren't so well composed, but that was nice. Big image, small thing in the foreground, nicely focused.
Yeah, and the mandatory Amiga Boing Ball, and before my kind of drink.
Yeah, I think it was playing joke for the photo competition, because several years in series, there's always one guy doing the boing ball and some water effects for the competition, and this is just recreating that stuff in 3D.
Okay. Something to add on the graphics? Any of you? Okay. Then let's go to the fantasy console, shall we? We all sat here in the audience, and my personal opinion on the compo was like, okay, good, you have like a lot of smaller things, like I don't want to call them beginners or firsties, but like smaller entries, with like one or two effects, and then once we got by the end of the compo, you were like, "Yep, we're having a compo here." Or see how the fantasy console platform has, has already matured. Like it's a few years ago, and it's keeping up that level. And now with actually the soundtracks being up to a level that you can say like is this a module or an MP3 playing? That was my overall feeling, certainly with the later entries on how they went. Paul, can I start with you on this, on the fantasy stuff, because that's a bit your corner of the world.
I thought it was a really strong competition. One thing I do want to kind of bring out is I think the curation of it was really good. The running order, as you say, by the end of the competition, you felt like you were watching the good stuff. And it's sort of, in my notes, it's kind of split into 3 sections. There was the let's call it more basic stuff, like kind of about the first 4, and then we had a couple of like medium ones, and then the last 2 strong. And it was well kind of paced, and the first one in that welcome wagon, that's absolutely one of my favourites.
Yep.
But I think it was a really good choice to put that at the start. That was your compo opener, right? And then we kind of dropped down to the more beginner stuff, let's say. So the curation was really good. I think that helped a lot, just build up the energy of the competition. But there's so much good stuff in there. It's all good.
Yeah, indeed. Looking at starting from entry 5, space exploration, that was really well composed. 6, astral plane mechanism. Lots of red and blue, so I don't know if there was meant to be looked with 3D glasses, because the color choice in there, like maybe it's intentional or by accident, but it might look at some 3D thing that could work there. I don't know.
Which one? Sorry.
The 6 astral plane mechanism.
Yeah.
Like they had some interesting clashing color.
It's very like crunchy and glitchy, and most of the other stuff in the competition was clean, which was nice. It's very different just because of that kind of crunchiness, and there was a bunch of like screen-based feedback effects and things like that, which you kind of only really see in like fantasy console and old school stuff. You don't see that so much if at all, in kind of modern demos for technical reasons. But it's nice to see that in the old school stuff, having those screen-based effects, feedback, like persistence of the image staying over several frames, that kind of stuff. And astral plane mechanism did a whole bunch of that, and it was really nice as a result.
Okay. Unfu, something that jumps out for you? You want to discuss specifically?
Yeah, of course, you would expect I would like the bird thing.
Okay.
The bird storm. I really like the direction of it. It starts very simple, and then suddenly, bang, the bird, and then things, and it keeps the public engaged. And something that you also taught me while making demos, you have to keep the public engaged and have a good direction. They really, it was really interesting to follow. Also like the Meg Org. It's a very nice technical.
The last one, yeah.
So yeah. Apart from that, I wondered why a thing exists like a fantasy console, because I think, why not the real thing? Why not the real computer? But then I thought it's nice because you can easily share it with the web browser. You can share IDs. So I see that as a positive thing about that platform. Oh yeah, my 2 cents.
And then it's TIC 80, and then there's one Pico 8, and then I think there was one entry on. I think it was the first one.
On Picotron.
Picotron, yeah. So has TIC 80 won the fantasy console wars?
Yeah, which is slightly surprising. I guess maybe it's a bit easier to approach than the Pico 8. But yeah, I was surprised that the TIC 80 stuff was so strong. Maybe Pico 8 is starting to wane.
Okay. Can I have your comments basically that on the fancy consoles?
Sorry, but I missed most of the compo because I had to do the wardrobe change at the time. So I think I only saw the last one or two.
Don't feel then just fake it until you make it. Just say it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's cool to see some entries there, and at least the one that I saw was pretty good, and I have to look at them right after the party, at least, or before the voting deadline.
Indeed, and then all entries will be available for download. You can also go onto websites that play videos of entries, and you can find them there also on the assembly website. You can also find them, so scene.assembly.org. You can also vote for them. You can see the screenshots, and there are preview URLs for the YouTubes and other tubes where you can rewatch the entries if you do not have all the fancy console stuff installed. Good. Then the main one of the block, which was the Oldskool compo. Lots of C64 as a bit of a surprise because it's been a bit lower on C64 in the last year, but happy to see that the Breadbox is coming, well, making a, don't want to say a comeback, but being there. Let's just go through a bit of the entries one by one from the first one to the last one, as we do have some time for this. So first one, the Zoo 2024 invitation. Zoo Party is the big C64 party here in Finland with a target audience for the Nordics. Graphically, I thought it was a very own design style. Don't know if you have any feedback or comments on that. Any of you? Basically, you can go ahead.
I felt they had a little vibes from the Forbidden Forest, especially the intro.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a Forbidden Forest, and
I think every time there's a Zoo invite, it's going to be good. All of their invites are nice. They have that kind of slightly tongue-in-cheek feel about them. But yeah, it's exactly what you expect from an invite, exactly what you expect from a Zoo invite. It's good.
Yeah, as well, the Zoo invitation, I really liked the creepy thing in the window. It's a nice vibe. Well, but I thought the last part of that intro was, like repetitive. It was due to lack of resources or something like that.
Well, it's. I found it interesting that they mentioned the sponsors in the invitation scroller. So that was like, okay, sure, why not?
Paid promotion.
Yeah, indeed. So, okay, so that's it for the Zoo invitation. Then we had Matka by Coma, second entry, single loaded 64 KB, so I think single file. I'm a bit in the middle on this one. Nothing that jumped out, but still an entry is an entry, so we should applaud that. But otherwise, not much to say about this from my end. Don't know if you agree or not, then please tell me.
I thought it was kind of short and sweet. It's Matka, which is journey, and it was a journey. Somebody gets on the train, they go to the city, they catch some stars, they take them back, and everyone's happy. Right.
Thank you for giving the story angle, because that's, me as a non-native had no idea on that. So thank you for that. Third one, Fugitive. Sorry, Nintendo 64. That was a pleasant platform surprise. It's been making a bit of a comeback in the last years, and then I mean one demo every 18 months. But it's good to see something on the platform. Don't know if you would like to comment a bit on this?
Just what stood out was it's a funny direction again. It's a chase, and also the broken physics were kind of funny. And yeah, I was also surprised that the Nintendo 64 was there. Yeah, I had fun during the demo. I liked it. I gave it 4 points. So yeah.
Then we agree on the point score. I also gave it 4 points.
I didn't remember that N64 had such a low frame rate. But anyway, I like the James Bond reference with the jump and car rolling in the air.
Is Paul something on this one for you?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be, or if it knew whether it was supposed to be serious or fun. The music was like very serious, and then there was some, like the James Bond joke and a couple of other jokes. Felt a bit like it wasn't sure what it was trying to be, but it was nice.
Yeah, it's like every good movie needs a car chase in the middle, and then we've had our car chase in the middle of the combo here. So I think it fits very well.
Yeah,
Is the mandatory car chase that has to be there. And then, as always, in a car chase, physics don't matter, and you can upshift 25 times.
So, are we going to do this in all demo compass from now on? There must be a...
There has to be a car chase, yeah. So we're gonna...
They did smash through some boxes quite earlier on. I mean, that's classic car chase stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Did we knock over a fruit stand? I don't think we did.
Sorry?
Did we knock over a fruit stand by the side of the road? I don't think we did.
Don't think so.
No. But boxes are already there, so that's good. Number 4, Diorma's Cracked. A very nostalgic vibe here, going through a lot of older crack throws in a very, very fast pace. How many did you recognize? It's okay to say 0.
A few.
A few.
I couldn't name all of them, but I recognised a few.
Yeah. Well,
this was 16K as well, which was pretty impressive.
Yeah. So, the screenshot is easy. That's Eaglesoft. So that's a freebie. Then there was I saw Fairlight, I saw Triad. I think I saw Beastie Boys, German cracking service, and some. Yeah, I know. Maybe an Ikari one, but I'm not sure if that was in there. So we should actually, hopefully they put it on Demozoo or CSDB, give a full list of the crack intros that they've put in there.
And also, like, the fastest scrollers I've seen in a long time.
They still need to start cracking some games and put those crack shows over there.
They should. Yes.
What about if we took these demos and we distributed them by like cracking games and putting them on the front of the games? This could be a whole thing. We could call them crack shows.
I never thought of that.
You could distribute them to everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody would see them. It would be amazing.
Yeah.
Just have the crack show be there and saying that, hey, this is a part where I need to do some DLC.
Well, we now have Wi-Fi modems for the C64 and Ethernet-connected cartridges. So absolutely, yes. We should make an online shop where you can buy things and download them. I think it's never been done before.
That is correct. Needs to be done.
Yeah. So yeah, I shall quickly file my patent after this section is done. Umfu, I know you're not the Commodore 64 person here. So how many crack throws did you recognize?
I was hoping to see the Red Sector one, but it was not there, I think. Yeah?
Red Sector is Amiga, different platform.
Okay. See, that explains I don't see 64 guy.
Although no, the Red Sector also has some is C64 stuff, but that's.
But I got a real retro vibe when seeing the intro. So
they did go for the end mid 80s to late 80s characters, also because I guess of the 16K file limit that they wanted to push it in. So I think that was indeed nice. Okay, then speaking of politics, transcend the game, PWP. Sorry, I cannot pronounce what it stands for in Finnish.
Persvastaiset produktiot. So productions against the Rs.
Exactly that. Very, very typical what you would expect.
Exactly. They always do some critique against consumerism and contemporary stuff, people who are evil or corporations who are evil or everything that's wrong these days.
It was, I guess, in today's world, it could be a low-hanging fruit topic, but still, I think the execution was very well done here.
Yeah, it was what you expect from a PWP demo, but it was not the platform you expect from a PWP demo. So they've been VIC-20 up until
Lots
now.
of VIC-20 in the past, yes,
So
indeed.
this is the first C64 one, I think.
No, it's not. Definitely not the first
Not
one.
the
They have done several
not the first one, but indeed
massively.
Okay.
the most known ones are VIC-20, but this is not the first 64 one.
Yeah, okay. The most known one's definitely VIC-20, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, liked it. It was
Yeah.
again, you know what you're going to get, and it delivered.
Yeah. Umfu, have you now decided to start going against the mass conglomerate and stop consuming so much and be more rebellious against the system after watching this demo?
It spoke to my anarchism somewhat, but not in that way.
So in which way did it talk to your...
It triggers my. I'm an anarchist in general, but a very soft one, and the small things. So it spoke to that, but I didn't really get the message. So I like the music. It was like a good beat, but yeah.
Okay. And then we had a switch to 60 hertz on the beam. I gave the switch 5 points because it worked. And we had 2 Performer 5200 demos. So suddenly we have a PowerPC combo again, as we tried to have with the PowerPC Amigas 10 years ago. Yeah, 2 demos. First one was some years ago. I cannot code on this system, so I can't give any comments. But of the 2 demos on the platform, the more basic one, I would say.
Yes.
Also, want to note that on a technical level, these computers don't have a video out. It's an all-in-one box with the screen included. So the video was captured using some kind of weird dev cable that was found on eBay, because somebody made one sometime, and that's how they captured the video of it. Mr. Paul, some quick comments on some years ago, the first of the Performa demos.
I don't really know much about I don't know anything about the platform, actually. I don't think I'm not sure I'd even heard of it.
It's basic. It's 75 megahertz software rendering. There's no 3D capabilities whatsoever.
Which sounds pretty strong.
Yep.
Sounds quite good. The first one, as you say, was the more basic one, and there was something not quite right with the video capture. It sounded a bit blurred, and the video was a bit blurred. That was kind of annoying, because I think that it would have looked and sounded better. There's one thing I want to mention. First of all, it's really weird to have 2 of these demos, like, out of nowhere on the same obscure platform. That's just weird. And then the weirder thing was, the first one, I was listening to it, and that sounds like Second Reality. There's some very Second Reality vibes to it. And then the second one, that sounds like Chaos Theory. There's some weird Chaos Theory vibes to it. So the only conclusion I can have is that my music head has been broken by Boostdrome, and I can no longer hear music properly anymore.
Okay.
Nobody else noticed the similarities then? Okay, just me.
I didn't notice them, but that could be my fault. I would say. Ufu, something on...
Yeah, I was really surprised to see those demos because I grew up with that platform. It was my first programming environment. I also made a lot of games for that platform. So I found it very nice that, I can use that next time when I go to assembly. I was wondering if they're doing it directly raw rendering or if they were using a quick draw. It's a very fast graphics technology invented by Bill Atkinson that could draw very fast lines and polygons and stuff like that. Rounded corners is a whole story about that. It's also a technique that demo makers for the Mac use to get graphics really fast on the screen. So I'm really interested to looking into this more in detail.
Okay. Something for you, basically, that on entry number 6?
Well, one thing that wasn't mentioned about the platform is that it lacks a video output. So
Yes.
it was impossible to record it live from the computers. It had to be recorded on the computers themselves.
Yeah.
And also, the first entry, I liked it, but it felt like it was rushed in and they didn't have time to complete it. And it sounded like the song could have been going on for longer, but they just lacked the material, which is a shame. Could have been so much more. And the second one had more of a direction. It had a clear pace and theming. I'm not sure how much of it was relying on stock art from somewhere else. The objects were pretty basic, but it had the theme and the jokes and so on, which was a lot more to
indeed.
the overall entry.
And that's an excellent segue to the last entry of the Compo, the 96 anomaly. So if you know anything new on that.
And also one thing that I was interested in, that when the overlay 2D art was printed on top of the video, the background rendering was stopped. And I'm curious, what causes that?
There were some glitches around the text
the
left and
background
right.
was still stationary when the 2D art was scanned on top of it, or sketched on top of it.
Did you notice anything like that, Unfu, while that demo was running? Being our expert on the platform now.
I also noticed some weird glitches and weird things. That's also why I want to look into it deeper. Maybe I should contact the authors.
And in general, the demo?
Yeah, for the demo itself. We're still talking about the 6th one?
The 7th one.
The 7th.
We have moved on in life.
Yeah, the 7th one. Indeed. It had also had some weird things in it.
Yep.
I like the 7th a bit more than the 6th. It also has a nice vibe to it.
It was going somewhere. It would tell you a point of view with a bit of a storyline in there.
And the music sounded very much like Amiga mod, Amiga track music, because on the Mac it was really easy to play back those track modules.
Okay, so you would.
So you could do a boost drum on the Mac very easily.
Don't give him many ideas.
So one thing that I forgot to ask, that do you know if the songs are modules or just pre-rendered audio on the platform, which is more likely?
Yeah, I just wonder. It sounds very much like track music, to me.
Pre-recorded.
Yeah, but the question, so was the mod player playing, or did it pre-render to a WAV file and was that playing?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Not sure.
No. All right. What my feeling is, like the slide text was, remember how it used to be the future? And I kind of felt like I was watching Amiga PowerPC demos for a while, because they were trying to get somewhere, and that sadly fizzled out a bit. But it's like, I don't know if I'm watching a software rendered Amiga PowerPC demo or if I'm watching a software rendered, other platform PowerPC demo. I found them very comparable, actually.
Yeah, it was definitely like a 1996 era, like design demo. It was very good for that. And at the start of it, it's one of the things that's really good to do if you're doing an obscure platform is to explain the platform at the start. And they did that, and then that led into the kind of the story of the demo, which I thought was really neat. They explained what they were going to do, and then they did it.
Do you know if there was any demo scene on the Mac at the time?
I would guess not.
Yes, that's what I thought as well.
But no idea.
All right. Final thoughts on the Oldskool compo and the entire block. If you have some, just go my right to left. Basically, that you wanna final thoughts on the block or the specifically Oldskool compo.
Well, I'm waiting for the chance that the Silicon graphic systems are going to be entering the Oldskool competition. Well,
Okay.
The oldest ones could already do that.
Mm-hmm.
At like O2 and something like that. I think it could be next year.
I don't know the full details from a memory, so you have to ask the compo team how that works and what they will allow and what not. Mr. Evil Paul?
It was good compo. There were no killer C64 demos, which you might expect.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they've gone to other parties, and maybe they don't want to compete against. Every year there's the conversation about what is Oldskool, and I think the assembly is quite kind of progressive in what is Oldskool. So maybe that scares off some of the platforms that go to the more dedicated parties. But that's a shame not to see a nice, strong C64 demo, but good competition.
Good. Ulfu, final thoughts on the...
Yeah, basically that last two entries made me feel old because they now entered the Oldskool part. So I feel old now.
Well, it's called Oldskool for a reason, so it's the nostalgia wave. So there you go. Okay, good. Then let's wrap it up here for this segment here. Thanks to my guest, basically that Evil Paul Umfu. Thank you for your insights and experience and sharing of knowledge and thoughts. What will happen now here at Assembly? We have the main compo block is at 8:30 here on Assembly TV and in the hall if you're watching over here. And after that, we will come back with a new Compostudio here, discussing those compos that will have been played. I should make my English grammar a bit easier. So, I've been Frankie, I have been an arrogant bastard. Thanks everyone for my guests. Thanks everyone in the back for the lovely technical solutions you have found here. And then we will see you after the main compo block later tonight. Tata and slaap wel te straks.